So I want to speak from my heart. Trust the process. This is like a letter to myself. So I'm going to speak very personally, I think, and I'm just going to share it with you so you can listen to. So trust the process. In the past, I tried to do a lot of things by myself, and I was thinking, look, quite alright. There is a place for hard work. There is a place where you need to, work hard and do all the things you need to do. But then, what is the state of your heart when you are doing those things? For me, everything I've been through has taught me to trust the process, to trust God, to trust the process God is taking me through. I know this statement is very cliche because a lot of people say it, trust the process, but what does it really mean? Look, there's a process to get every single thing you want to get you want to get in this life. There's a process for getting every single thing. So, what process are you going through to get something? There's a process to get to that thing. But then I think there are different processes you can go through to get that thing. But which one are you going through? For me, I think the process God is going to take you through is the right process. And because God trains he trains his own to for them to become who he wants them to become. He's going to take you through processes that is going to train you. He's going to take you through a phase that is going to train you. So now you need to trust the process. You need to trust God. You need to trust in his ability to lead you because he is a good God, right? And he wouldn't want what is going to hurt you in the end. He wouldn't want you to perish in the end. So he's going to take you through something that is going to help you, and he's never going to give you what you cannot handle because he has created you and he has put in you every single thing that is going to help you in this life, right? So he's not going to give you what you cannot handle. So you should actually trust the process. Trust the process, not because you are doing trial and error. Would it work? Would it work? No, it's actually going to work. You have to know that it's going to work because the one who is leading you is not a God of trial and error. He's a sure God. He knows what he's doing. So you need to trust the process because your end is beautiful. Your end is perfect. So you need to trust the process is taking you through to get to that end. Do you get what I mean? You need to trust the process. And as I'm talking to you, I'm also talking to myself because I am currently in a very difficult process. A process where God is taking me through. I am currently in a very, difficult one, a very lonely, isolated isolated phase of my life where God is taking me through. So I'm also learning to trust Him. I'm learning to trust Him. So in my journey of learning to trust Him, I've come to understand that his end is beautiful, his end is perfect. And when you finally get to that end, that thing that you want, that end that you are passing this process for, you're passing this journey for, when you finally get it, the thing is you are never going to question the process anymore. You will not question what you went through to get it because it is going to be perfect. There will be no room for questions. There will be no room for doubts because I don't know if you can understand what I'm saying. So the thing is, before you get to that end, you have to have faith that the end is perfect because the one who is taking you through that process is the God of the universe. He's a God of the universe. He's the God of the whole world. So you have to know that since it is this God that is taking you through this process, that means my end is a beautiful one. He makes all things beautiful in his own time. And he's not going to give you something you cannot handle. He's not going to let you have what you cannot handle if you are his own. And the thing is, he's actually not going to interfere with your will. He's not going to interfere with your choice. But then you have to learn to submit your choice to him and trust that your end is going to be beautiful. You have to learn to submit your will to God wholeheartedly, unreservedly, withholding nothing. You have to learn to submit everything to God and know that by the end of all of this, your end is going to be beautiful. And you will see the reason why He took you through this process. And you will be great, you'll actually be very grateful that He took you through this process. So in the past, I've been trying to do a lot of things by myself, and one of the things that has made me have so much faith in trusting the process where God is taking me through. Sometimes I don't even know if I have faith, but I think I have faith in this process is taking me through. One of the things that has made me have strong faith is that in the past I tried to do a lot of things by myself, and I wasted so many years. So many years passed, and in just a few months of trusting God for things, and when I mean things, I mean my character development, my emotions, my moods, my mood swings, like everything in between, character, self development, all those kind of things. When I learned to go to God in prayer and actually cry my heart out, and ask Him to heal my heart and help me to develop myself, develop my character. In just a matter of months, I've seen changes. And the thing is, I've been trying in the past for so many years to do most of the things. I see changes now, and I'm like, if I had just trusted God, if I had just trusted that He's going to actually change me, He's going to heal me, I would have trusted the process. But I didn't trust the process before, and He allowed me to, wait. My mic battery died, so I'm just going to speak over the phone. I hope you can hear me. So He allowed me to go through all I went through, and I wasted so many years. Finally, I decided to, go back to God. And this decision to, going back to God did not just happen. I don't know how to explain it. I just suddenly started feeling so empty and so unfulfilled. I don't know if I was in a state of, I don't want to call it depression. I don't know if I was in a state of hopelessness. So I suddenly felt so empty, and so the emptiness was, I don't know how to explain it. So at times I would just cry without words. Not I would just cry to God, but not saying anything. I'll just be crying. And sometimes when I listen to worship songs, I just see how only that tries to make sense, brings meaning into my life. So I constantly would find myself, worshiping God and praying. And sometimes I also used to listen to, secular musics. But at this time, when I'm listening to worship songs, this was the only things that made sense to me. Like, they made sense to me. So sometimes when I cry and my heart is heavy, I try to journal. When I'm bringing out the words, I just drop my pen and I start saying to God, telling Him how I'm feeling and asking Him to heal me. And because I was consistent with this, I wasn't feeling any other thing. There was nothing that was making sense to me anymore. So this was the only place where I felt fulfilled, if that makes sense. This was the only place where I felt whole, and I would just every day cry to God, pray, sing worship songs. At the time I started, getting meaning out of life again. I started to see change in my life. The things I used to do before, like listening to secular music, they no longer interest me. Like, I don't see any interest in them anymore. And I don't have the urge to go back to those kind of songs anymore, because I finally understood the kind of impact those songs had on my life. And each time I want to go back to listening to them, like what I used to like before, I just, the sweetness of all those things are not there again. So, I just focus on God, and I consistently focused on God, talked to God about things going on in my life, my career, my businesses, my finances, my school, marriage, friends, character, every single thing. And to tell you the truth, I've seen tremendous change in my life just going to God and telling Him about things. And another thing is, I started to read the Bible, and I started to read books, to Christian books, and a lot of things started coming to light. A lot of things started becoming open. I started having enlightenment, and this was just because I trusted the process. And I did not intentionally start trusting the process. I told you the story. I got to a place where I had to learn to trust the process. So now I'm trying to trust God and know that His end is beautiful. What He wants is beautiful. He knows thoughts He has for me, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give me an expected end. This scripture is finally making sense to me, and He makes everything beautiful in His own time. All these things are finally making sense to me, and now I just have this urge to always go to the Word and study, to know what, number one, what God has planned for me. Number two, to know the character of God, so I can follow. And my character has started changing, and I'm not even forcing it. I'm not even practicing exposure therapy. I'm not even doing most of these things. Quite all right, The hard work still needs to be there. You need to put in the work, but I'm not doing most of these things like that anymore. I'm just following God, and He is changing me. I'm not even putting so much effort. So I just want to, encourage you to trust God, trust the process which God is taking you through. When people say trust the process, trust a good process. Don't trust their shortcut and all of those things. Just trust the process God Himself is taking you through. And we've come to the end of this video. I am Chidera. I haven't been introducing myself because I'm trying to just speak from my heart, but I am Chidera, and I will see you again in my next video. Please, I want to see you in my next video. Bye. Fortress, no weapon against you shall prevail. Your God is before